Hi everybody, my name is Sadat. Welcome to my channel Learn to Code. If you haven't already subscribed, click the button below. In this video, we're going to deal with states. In the last video, we dealt with props. So let's just cover some of the differences between props and states. One difference is props, if you remember, are like functional arguments or parameters. So basically, you can pass data between one component to another component. States, on the other hand, they're managed by the component itself. So another difference is props are immutable. What that means is once they're set, they cannot be changed. And states are observable objects. Basically, they hold data that may change over time. So one other difference is props are set by the parent component and states are generally updated by event handlers. So I think it's best if I run through an example of how we're going to show an example of state so you better understand it. So in the last example, we showed how props work. So actually, let me pull this up here and make this screen bigger so you can see. Okay, so in the last example, because this is kind of a follow-on from the previous videos, so in this app.js we called in a component called, well, two components called greet, or sorry, one component called greet, but we called it twice. In one we set the name as Roger Rabbit, age 32, and in the other one Tony and age 90, which is displayed on the screen there. So in this example we can, okay, but let's show you an example of state. So the very first thing you need to do if you want to use states is you need to import React, and we need a the hook called useState. So without this we cannot use the states. So from, and it's going to be React. Fine. So now in order to use a state we need to declare a state. So how do we declare a state? Okay, so we can say something like const, and this is the syntax for declaring a state. So we would say something like okay, f name, so first name, set f name, oh where we gone, okay, equals use state, and then we need to set its value. So we'll just leave it blank. Oh, we'll leave it blank at the moment. So we can type the same thing out again, but as I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy and paste, and we can say s name for second name and follow the exact same thing. So we've set it to, yeah, blank. Okay, so then let's actually make another one, and we'll call this intro, yeah, and set intro. Notice how intro, okay, so when we declare the first word we declare it as we will, and the second one after set we have to basically use a cap. So intro with small I and then intro with a big a capital I. So I mean that's just the syntax for how to declare a state. So now we can do something like this. Okay, so in this app div we can declare another div, and let's just make a little form in here. So what we'll do, I'm just doing this on the fly, so how can we use an example of state? Okay, so let's create an input type, we'll say text, because we want to put in the first name placeholder. So in there we want to display, okay, enter first name, that'll do. Okay, so if we copy this again, because I'm lazy, copy paste, and we can say second name, and that's the same over here. So if we look now, we've got two boxes here on my screen. Color, 1 second, disable. Okay, yes. Okay, so we got enter first name, enter second name. Okay, let's just add in a H1 and we'll just call it intro. Have I spelled that right now? Introduction. Yeah, just to split it up a bit. Okay, so we've got two inputs, and then let's have a let's have a button. Okay, and this button will just say click here or something of the sort. Okay, here we are. Okay, reason why it's come up blue, I was experimenting before and I kind of set some CSS for a button, so now it's coming up blue with the white writing. So in your example it shouldn't come up like this. Anyhow, we've got two fields, first name, second name, and a button called click here. So what we want to do now is put that up here. Below the form we want to create a p tag, and in that p tag we're going to have some curly braces, and here we shall put the state intro in here. So now if we look at our example, okay, we can't see nothing, so okay, let's just say okay, let's just call it message. I don't know, yeah, that'll do, message. Okay, so this message is blank. So now if I go up here and set the intro to hi there, so now this intro state is equivalent to hi there, so it'll get displayed straight into the p tag that we just created. But obviously we don't want that, so I'm just going to delete that again and leave it blank. So far what have we got? We've declared three states: first name, second name, and an intro. We've created a form with two inputs, first name, second name, and we've created a p tag where we're displaying the intro state. So now we want to set a on change to the first input, and we'll just call this handle F, just to keep it short. Handle F for first name. Okay, so we want to come up here just below the state and we'll just write functions. Okay, functions here. Okay, so we want to declare a function which is going to handle that input. So we called it handle F down here, so we can say function handle F, and then because whenever the user inputs something in this field, now in this field where the first name is, we want to capture that and store it in the f name state. So in order to do that we need to capture the event, so we can just put in E here for short for event, and we can say something like this. We can say set f name to, what do we want to set it to? E dot target dot value. So this should set f name to f name to whatever we type in. So let's test this out down here. So if we get rid of intro and we just write f name, and then we go to our first name box and we type in, let's just type in John, you can see John is being displayed straight over here. So from there to there, that's fine, that's working. So now if we go back and we do the same similar thing in the second input on change, and we set that to handle S, short for handle surname, and we can create another function called handle S. This time we'll create it like this, just to show you another way how to declare a function. So we'll say handle S equals, this is just the arrow, just another way of declaring function, does the same thing. In here we'll put the E for the event, and we shall do the same thing. Set s name to, what do we want to set it to? E dot target dot value. So that should set it to that. So let's just test that. So we'll set s name this time, and now if we go here and put in s name, let's just say Wayne, you can see it's capturing the data. So that's fine, we know they're both working now. So what do we want to do? Okay, let's put that over here. Okay, so first thing, let's change this back to intro. Oh, what have I done? Intro. We can say something like this now. Okay, on the form we want to add a on submit. Okay, and we want to equal that to, let's call it handle submit. Yeah, simple. Okay, now we need to create this function. So we go back here and let's create this function. Let's just do it const handle submit equals arrow function. Okay, so what do we want to do? Okay, so far we've got a form. When the user types in the first name, this handle f function kicks in, which is over here, handle f. It captures whatever the user inputs and it stores it into the f name state, which is declared up here. Then the exact same thing happens for the second input. For the surname, we've got the handle s function, which is up here. Let me just close this. Okay, which is up here, and the exact same thing happens. It captures the input and stores it to the s name state. So now what we want to do is we want to display a message back, something like hi, you know, first name plus second name, how are you, or something like that. We just anything. Okay, so and we want to set that to intro, because at the moment intro is set to blank, nothing. So we can do something like this. Once we go into the handle submit button, we can say set what? Intro, and we can say f okay, we can use backticks, and we can say hi, and in order to use I can't remember, interpolate, anyway, I can't remember what the exact term is, but this is how you use a variable in the curly braces with the backticks. You have to put the $sign up ahead. So we can say hi f name, first name, and then we can say second name, s name, hi John Wayne, let's just say, how are you, question mark. Okay, so we can store all that in the state called intro. So now should this work? This should work. Okay, so now let's go back here and we'll say hi, I don't know, let's do Roger Rabbit again, Roger, and then Rabbit, and if you click, yeah, okay, it's vanished. So to fix that, it did briefly come there. To fix that, what we got to do is we need to put in an event again, and e.prevent default. Okay, what this e.prevent default does is because we're using a form, if you click the submit button, it automatically just reloads the next page. So event.prevent default stops the page from basically reloading. You can see it, you'll see anyway. Okay, so now let's just put in, okay, let's put in John Wayne again. John Wayne, click hi John Wayne, how are you? So now that's stored in intro. We can go a step further and do something like this now. So what we can do is, now that in our code over here, let me make sure, in our code here, just in the app function, we've got 3 states. Now what we can do is we can use these states in any component similar to the props. So let's just try and send, let's send intro to this one. Okay, so we can say intro equals intro. So we're sending that state as a prop, if you get what I mean, state as a prop. Yeah. Okay, so now if we reload our page, we've got up here, welcome to Roger Rabbit, I'm 32 years old. So if we say something like, I don't know, let's say John Wayne again, I don't know why I can't think of any other names at the moment. Okay, so John and then Wayne, and we click here. What's happened? Oh, it's not worked. Why hasn't it worked? Okay, silly me. Let's go here. We go into the Greek component and we need to destructure it. Oh, so we call it intro. Let me just double check. Yes, we call it intro. So in Greek we need to destructure intro, and here we need to just put a comma there, and then we'll say intro. Okay, so now when we, okay, there you are. So let's refresh the page. We'll put in any other name, Tony Montana, if I spelled that right. Click here. So see, now we've got the p tag displaying the message here, and also we've sent it as a prop to the Greek component, and there it's being printed here as well. So I hope that kind of clarifies how state is used. I mean, it's very similar to props, but one of the main differences, props is used to pass data between components, and state is actually managed by that component itself. But there's that, and in the next video we'll pick something else to do. So if you like the video, just click like and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.